Hello, we're with another one of my great clients. I'm going to ask him here to introduce himself, just explain why he came here to the Hypnosis Center.
Thank you. My name is David Milliken. I'm 28 years old. I've been smoking on and off pretty heavily since my teens. And I decided a couple months ago that I wanted to quit because I realized what an impediment it was in my life in terms of my health, in terms of finances, in terms of future plans, in terms of my relationships, even in terms of my emotional well-being and my peace of mind. And that is when I decided to seek out hypnosis to quit, when I realized that just on my own with no no help, no guidance, I could do it, but it was going to be extremely difficult.
Okay, so we worked together. What were your results? What was your experience?
My results were amazing. All the best. I would say that my experience, I went into the process, I'll freely admit, being a bit skeptical. I really hoped that it would work. I really hoped for success. I will admit I wasn't at all sure that we would be successful. Then immediately with our very first session, I I knew that my fears had been completely wrong. I will just say that it was um it was an amazingly powerful experience, even right from the beginning. I even went into the first session as instructed with a strong nicotine craving. I had gone several hours, which was very unusual for me, without a cigarette, and I went into things feeling horrendous, and I came out. It was like night to day. Everyone around me, by the way, backed me up on this and said they could not believe the change they saw in me. And it was, I would say, the most amazing part, besides just feeling so much better, was that I didn't even want to smoke. To be honest, after smoking all those years, uh, I could barely even remember what it was like, to the extent where it wasn't even like I don't want to do this anymore, but it was a completely neutral thing. Like it didn't even hold any significance for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, no doubt people have probably asked you what it's like to be hypnotized. How do you explain the feeling, the experience of being hypnotized?
Ah, it would be it would be very hard to really accurately put into words, except that I guess the things that would come to mind immediately would be that it's maybe I would say it's almost like all the best of being awake and being asleep both at once. I would say absolutely, completely in command of my mental faculties, maybe even more so, even more clearly so than usual. But the sensation, it's almost like being in a dream. I would say maybe the closest thing I can say in that respect is if you know what it's like when you're kind of drifting off to sleep or kind of waking up, and maybe a stage where you're not quite awake, not quite asleep. But if you've ever felt that stage and remember what it was like, and if you remember at times, perhaps feeling like, in a sense, your mind and your perceptions and so forth were actually clearer than they usually would be when you're awake. That would be the closest thing I would say, but I would say not even quite that. I would say though that it is just all around. I guess I would say it feels amazing. It feels really good. Like I'd say all the best feelings of pleasure, relaxation, confidence,
Hmm.
peace, uh, again, just clarity, that you can imagine, but in a really intense way. And I mean, I would say that's the best I can do to describe it. I don't know how words could really do it
Yeah.
justice, though, if you don't know what haven't experienced
Oh,
it.
you've got a good point. I think the way you described it being both in that midpoint of sleep and awake, that's very accurate. You're aware of what's going on, but it's a very intense internal experience. I think that's a good description. Dave, thank you so much for
Yeah.
offering your experience here for other people. You did really great. And again, I thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, David.